What was really outside the house? The Last House Explained. Warning, spoiler warning before we begin. This video contains major spoilers for Netflix's sci-fi thriller The Last House. We'll explain what was really outside the house, the mysterious rain, the alien creatures, and why the film intentionally leaves many of its biggest questions unanswered. With that said, let's get started. One of the biggest mysteries in The Last House isn't what happens inside the house, it's what waits outside. For years, Jason and his family refuse to step beyond their front door. Every window becomes a warning. Every drop of rain feels like a death sentence. Every strange sound outside reminds them that something has completely changed. Then, near the end of the movie, the truth is finally revealed. But instead of answering every question, it creates even more. Were the creatures aliens? Was the world destroyed? Or is the outside world meant to symbolize something much deeper? Let's break it all down. Why couldn't they leave the house? At the beginning of the movie, Jason believes the house is the only safe place left. Every attempt to leave ends in failure. The doors refuse to open. The rain itself seems to hide an invisible force. Anyone trying to escape risks encountering something terrifying waiting outside. As time passes, the family slowly realizes they're completely trapped. Food begins running out. Electricity disappears. The roof starts collapsing under years of relentless rain. Their home gradually transforms from a sanctuary into a prison. But leaving still isn't an option, because whatever exists outside appears even worse. What was really outside? For most of the movie, the filmmakers refuse to show us the threat. We hear noises, catch brief glimpses of movement, and watch the family's fear grow stronger. Eventually, the mystery is finally revealed. The threat is real. Outside the house are strange, alien-like creatures made of what appears to be salt water. Their bodies constantly shift and flow like living ocean water. They're unlike any life form humanity has encountered. However, the movie never explains where they came from. We don't know if they arrived from another planet, another dimension, or whether they caused the endless rain. Even more importantly, we never learn why they trapped humanity inside their homes. That's completely intentional. The movie isn't interested in explaining the science. It's interested in exploring the emotional consequences. What was the rain? The rain becomes one of the film's most important symbols. On a literal level, it marks the creature's territory. The family quickly learns that the rain isn't ordinary weather. It's connected to the mysterious force preventing anyone from escaping. The constant downpour also slowly destroys their home. The roof weakens, the walls deteriorate, supplies disappear. Every passing storm reminds them that time is running out. But the rain also represents something deeper: uncertainty, fear, isolation. Just like the COVID lockdowns that inspired many viewers to compare the film to recent real-world events, the rain traps people physically, while fear traps them emotionally. Were the creatures actually real? This is one question the movie answers more clearly than many viewers realize. Yes, the creatures are real. Near the climax, Jason fights one of them directly. The family physically interacts with them. Why didn't the creatures attack earlier? Another mystery involves timing. If the creatures were so powerful, why wait years before entering the house? The movie never gives a direct answer, but there are several possibilities. One theory is that the house itself offered temporary protection. The creatures could surround it, but not enter. Another possibility is that they weren't interested in killing the family immediately. Perhaps they were observing, testing, or simply allowing humans to isolate themselves. The final possibility is the most symbolic. The house represented hope. As long as the family stayed united, the creatures couldn't truly defeat them. Only after the house literally begins falling apart does the final confrontation begin. Why did Jason show mercy? The biggest surprise comes during the ending. Jason finally defeats one of the creatures. He has every reason to kill it. It tried to destroy his family. It trapped them for years. It nearly took everything from them. But instead, he does something completely unexpected. He shows compassion. He chooses mercy instead of revenge. At first, it feels like a strange decision. Then, everything changes. The creature responds peacefully. It allows Jason and his family to leave. Even the other creatures stand aside. The prison finally opens. The movie suggests something fascinating. Perhaps no human had ever responded with kindness before. Instead of proving humanity's strength through violence, Jason proves it through empathy. The outside world isn't the real enemy here. Here's where the movie becomes much deeper than a simple alien thriller. Throughout the story, the family believes the greatest danger exists outside. But is that really true? Think about what nearly destroys them. Not the creatures, not the rain, not the aliens. It's isolation, starvation, hopelessness, fear, distrust. Cabin fever slowly erodes their sanity. The longer they remain trapped, the more dangerous their emotional state becomes. The movie quietly suggests that fear itself may be more destructive than the monsters waiting outside. The hidden meaning behind the outside world. The outside world represents everything people cannot control: loss, change, isolation, uncertainty. The creatures give those fears a physical form. The rain becomes the boundary between comfort and the unknown. The house symbolizes security, but eventually security becomes imprisonment. That's one of the most powerful ideas. Sometimes the places protecting us can also prevent us from truly living. What does the ending really mean? Many viewers expected the movie to explain everything. Instead, it does the opposite. It leaves the alien invasion largely unexplained. It never reveals why humanity was chosen. It never tells us where the creatures came from. And it never explains why mercy changes everything. Because those mysteries aren't the point. The ending is really about one simple question: what separates humans from monsters? Jason answers that question in the final battle, not with violence, but with compassion. That's ultimately what allows his family to leave. Not superior strength, not advanced weapons, humanity. Could there be a sequel? The ending certainly leaves room for one. The outside world remains almost completely unexplored. Countless questions remain unanswered. Where did the creatures come from? Did other families survive? What happened to the rest of humanity? At the time of this video, Netflix has not officially announced a sequel, but the ending leaves enough mystery that another story would certainly be possible. Final thoughts. So, what was really outside the house? Literally, an alien force made of mysterious saltwater creatures, an endless rain, and a world transformed by an unexplained invasion. But emotionally, the outside represented something much larger: fear, isolation, the unknown, the collapse of everything familiar. The Last House deliberately refuses to explain every mystery because its real focus isn't the aliens, it's the family. How ordinary people survive extraordinary circumstances. How isolation changes the human mind. And how compassion can sometimes succeed where violence fails. Perhaps that's why the ending continues to stay with audiences. Because the monsters outside may be terrifying, but the greatest battle was always happening inside the house and inside the people living there. So, what do you think? Were the creatures simply alien invaders, or did they represent something much deeper about fear and survival? Let me know your theories in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more Netflix ending explain videos, sci-fi mysteries, hidden meanings, and movie breakdowns.